Welcome to part 12 of our Dark Forces lore play. Last time we finally decoded the navigational data of the mobile Dark Trooper factory, the Arkhammer, by fighting our way through the very heart of the Empire. We learned that the Arkhammer is constantly moving, and that the only way to get to it is through the Super Star Destroyer Executor. So first we infiltrated Coruscant, now we're gonna fight through the flagship of Darth Vader. It's like Katarn has a checklist of the worst possible places for a rebel soldier to be, and he's just going to all of them. This video is going to be a little different because it'll be 2 levels in one. Before we get to the Executor, we have to fight our way through a fuel station to hijack a smuggling ship that will then dock with the Executor. The problem is, there is nothing to talk about regarding the fuel station. Literally no lore on it, except that it's called Fuel Station Ergo. But there's plenty to talk about on the Super Star Destroyer, so I'm just combining missions 12 and 13. Well hey, would you look at that, we're on the Executor. Our goal here is to get a cargo hauler that will then deliver us to the Arkhammer and allow us to destroy the Dark Trooper project once and for all. So while we tear our way through one of the greatest symbols of Imperial might, let's talk about its history. But first, let's address pronunciation. I prefer Executor, but some people say Executor. Both are technically correct pronunciations, and I won't get on your back if you don't get on mine. Deal? Cool. In Star Wars Legends, the Executor was the very first Super Star Destroyer of its kind. It was 19 kilometers long with enough firepower to completely ruin any planetary surface in mere hours. What that looks like is 2,000 turbo laser batteries, 2,000 heavy turbo laser batteries, 250 heavy ion cannons, 500 laser point defense cannons, and 250 heavy concussion missile batteries. Inside it carried 144 starfighters of various types, including standard TIEs, bombers, interceptors, defenders, and more. It held 200 support ships, hundreds of walkers, and enough consumables to feed its crew for 6 years. It was built over the Scarl system and later the shipyards of Fondor. Vader used it as a training ground for his secret apprentice Galen Merrick while it was still under construction, and it was completed very shortly after the Battle of Yavin. As part of Darth Vader's personal task force known as Death Squadron, it spearheaded the search for the Rebel base for the following 3 years, I guess when it wasn't helping supply the Dark Trooper project like it is now. Death Squadron was made up of the Executor and 5 Imperial-class Star Destroyers. They led the attack on Hoth and the following capture of the Millennium Falcon. After that, they took part in a skirmish above Coruscant where the Executor destroyed Prince Shizor's personal skyhook. Finally, Death Squadron moved to the Endor system to protect the construction of the second Death Star. It was there that the Executor met its end at the Battle of Endor when A-Wing pilot Arvel Krynid crashed his starfighter into the ship's bridge. Its navigational systems down, the Executor was sucked into the gravity well of the Death Star, and it exploded upon impact. A lot of fans, including myself, feel that's a pretty lackluster way for such a majestic ship to go out. The new Star Wars canon has altered the Executor's history slightly. It was not the first Imperial Super Star Destroyer. As far as we know, that distinction goes to the Annihilator. The ship was still completed shortly after the Battle of Yavin, but this time it was constructed at Kuat Drive Yards and was originally intended to be the flagship of Grand General Tag. But at the last second, Palpatine decided to hand the keys over to Vader instead. That whole story can be found in the Darth Vader comics, which are definitely worth reading. We currently don't know much about its canon history following the Battle of Yavin, but we can safely assume it was still a major part of the hunt for the Rebel base and Luke Skywalker. Back to Legends, the Executor had a crew totaling over 250,000, and just under 40,000 of those were ground troops. But Kyle cuts through them like butter, no problem. It's only the most terror-inducing warship in the entire galaxy, no big deal at all. What's kinda crazy is that the ship doesn't lock itself down. We're making our way to a cargo hauler that will take us to the secret Dark Trooper factory, and nobody's like, hey, maybe we should not let any ships out of here, especially ships that will go straight to our super secret factory. It's just business as usual, and oh, hey, if you see a blood-raged rebel agent around, maybe try to kill him, otherwise just go about your day. As we board the cargo hauler, we'll bring today's video to a close. Next week will be the final lore play of Dark Forces. If you want to watch the series from the beginning, you can check out this playlist. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.